And we're live.
Hey guys, it's your boy Reggie with RTJR Productions, and today we'll be filming the final episode of Season 1 of ScreenFax. And we're going to talk about relationships today. And joining me, I have very special guests, some good friends of mine from OSU, Heaven Sorrell and Kaylin Embrack, and also joining us her boyfriend, LaMarcus. Hey guys, how you guys doing today?
Hey!
So I want you guys to give me some background information about you guys, where you went to school at, careers and everything, and what goal aspirations you have and everything.
Well, I'm Heaven. I'm a fourth year, I guess going into my fifth year, animal science major at OSU. I currently don't have a job. Shout out to COVID. I think that's all really. Yep.
Good old COVID ruined everything.
Yeah.
My name is Kaylin. I also attend OSU. I am a human nutrition major. I'm going into my fourth year.
I'm Marcus. I graduated from Wittenberg University. That's in Springfield, Ohio, a liberal art college. And I went for accounting, and I currently have been out of school for about 2.5 years now. And now I work in accounting.
Gotcha.
But all accountants are boring, by the way.
That's where the money's at, though, man.
But so let's talk, guys. What's going on, like this whole dating thing? Like why is it such a game nowadays? What do you guys feel about what it is to be in a relationship in 2020?
Guess I'll take the lead on this one. I think that what I've seen a lot of people pitfall into is that they look for more of a surface level attraction, and there's not really the patience that's needed to get to know who that person is. And I think that winds up a lot of people getting a lot of premature heartbreak because they haven't really taken the time to know who it is they're looking to be with. I think our generation doesn't focus as much as necessary on like the inward qualities of a person. I think we're not really in a generation that seeks longevity. There's so many options out there, I think people perceive. And so I think people aren't really willing to settle down very much at all. I think that there's more of a we'll see where this goes mentality than we'll see this through mentality.
Gotcha.
So more of like if it's convenient, we'll keep this going, and there's no like sense of I have the aspirations of making it or having a really happy relationship. It's just like go with the flow type of deal. Is that what...
Exactly. Like there's a lot of cop out situations, and I think that's because people see especially with like the increase of dating apps, I think a lot of people think they can just find the next person. I guess I kind of understand that, but if you continue to have that mentality, then it's always going to be a game because you'll never be willing to stick around and make things work.
Gotcha.
I think so.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say to piggyback off of what Kaylin said. I think like a lot of times people want that like marriage kind of relationship, but without the actual work to go into it. So like you were talking about the whole like dating apps thing. So like you'll see like a lot of people on them, and they're like they either say like something like, okay, for example, I saw somebody on Tinder earlier, and he said in his bio like he wants to go on cute dates and like do all this cute stuff, and like you don't want to hold hands and like swipe left. But then at the end of his statement, he said, "But I'm not looking for anything too serious." Like, what does that really mean? And you'll see like a lot of people on like dating apps that say stuff like that, or they're just like totally like, "Oh yeah, like I don't want anything serious, so like, swipe left if you want a relationship," and stuff like that. So yeah, it's like everybody wants that like that long-term kind of relationship without the long-term work to go into it.
Do you think there's a reason that people don't want that work? Do you think it's out of fear, or do you think it's just convenience?
I think it could possibly be fear, but then like you said something earlier that made me like literally think about it, and I just had it and now it's gone. But yeah, I don't know. I think people just really want to like, I don't know. It's like I feel like so many people have seen such terrible relationships that now everybody's just like, well, that's never gonna happen to me. I'm not gonna let that happen to me. So I'm just gonna like do my thing while this person like does whatever they do, whether that be them like doing them or like actually investing time, energy, and effort into a person. But like a lot of people just don't care what the other person is doing. It's more so just like, I need to protect me, so I'm gonna do what I need to do to make sure that I'm okay in the end, and whatever happens to the other person is just not my problem.
Mm-hmm.
I think so you're saying that people are going off of other relationships that they've seen, not necessarily relationships that they've been in, and they're projecting that off of there?
It could be both. I know like a lot of people that I know, like they're more weary about relationships and who they get into relationships with because they've seen like people around them, like parents or siblings or aunts, uncles, cousins, whoever, like have bad relationships. And I know even me personally, like my parents didn't really have the greatest example of a relationship to go based off of. So like I'm more wary about relationships and like who I would like potentially date. So yeah, like I know a lot of people just more so, like I even know some people who've been taught to like be the one to hurt the other person first. Like so if they feel something bad about to happen, they just like completely disregard the other person and just like fall back completely. I don't know, it's kind of just, it's like they fall into it, like being single is kind of like a safety net. So I feel like everybody wants to like just fall into the safety net when things get hard, because they've never seen like an actual healthy relationship where like two people have worked things out to make things work to get that long-term result that everybody wants, you know?
Yeah, Heaven, I think you bring up a lot of great points. Like, the fact is we live in a generation where you post all the happy moments on Instagram and Facebook, but rarely do you see someone saying, hey, this relationship, I've struggled with it, but it's still something that I put time after time because I believe it. And I have actually had quite a few friends, they'll post on occasion that marriage is hard, relationships are hard, but it's something that you put work into, just like anything else. So they've been kind of honest about that, which has helped me to understand that it's not always going to be easy. But I think if you have a mentality like a lot of people, that you're not going to have conflict, and when you do have conflict, of course you're going to want to run because you just don't expect that it should be there. You think that it's the other person's fault. I think a lot of times there's a lack of personal accountability, and if you just want to look at what the other person did wrong and not look at what you could have done wrong, then there's like a whole missed opportunity for personal growth. And I think a lot of people run from that.
Yes, for sure. That's something that I actually do see a lot, and it's like I've seen, I mean, obviously, like, I haven't been around in, like, previous generations to know how, like, they operated and, like, how their discussions about this topic went, but, like, now I see, like, a lot of people, like, blame the other gender, like, in its entirety, and I see it, like, on, like a lot of people talk about women doing it, but I see it both women and men, like, blaming the other, like, sex for, like, the issues that go on in, like, today's dating world, and, like, nobody looks at their, if we're speaking like generally, nobody looks at their own gender to see like the issues that both sides have, you know? So yeah, that accountability piece is very important.
Yeah, there definitely more accountability on both sides, like you said. It's always a blaming system that we have.
So basically what I hear from you guys is you think fear is a lot to do with it, like constant fear of being hurt. Like, so with that being said, how much is this fear has been created due to like our generation with like technology, social media, what we see on movies, like how much do you think that's generated this fear?
I don't know. It could be a lot. I feel like with social media, I don't really know, because I feel like social media, without the like how we know social media to actually be, like, has been around for a long time. Like, we've always had like tabloid magazines and stuff like that to like display everything that like these socialites and celebrities and like how they live their lives and stuff. So like we've always had like that insight to other people, like these big people that people put on pedestals, relationships and whatnot. But I don't know. I think maybe the issue would be that we have access to it at much younger ages. So that fear is like, I don't know, like kind of instilled at a younger. I can't really explain it, but
Makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a really great point. I never even thought about it like that.
I can't really
Another, yeah, but you hit the nail on the head. That's a really great point. It makes sense that we're kind of conditioned from a young age. This is how things can be, or how. But I think we live in a one-day delivery type of world. We just want what we want when we want it.
Yeah.
Amazon. I mean, I appreciate the timeliness of the packages, but at the same token, it's like we expect everything to be a click away, and we don't have much patience. And so I think this isn't really social media, but it's more like the way that our technology has advanced us, allows us to like demandy, pushy. And so it may carry on into our relationships. Like it may make us feel like, ooh, what is this? Waiting, patience. I don't know if I have any of those left. So that's my take.
So actually, I meant to ask you guys. So how do you guys make it work? How do you, because first of all, I want you guys to go ahead and explain like how'd you guys meet and everything and all that. If you.
Well, we actually are the anomaly couple who met on a dating site. Whoop whoop! And so navigating the taboo about doing that to, friends, and we've been playing around with some different stories of, we met at church, or just different things like that. But yeah, so we met on a dating app, and it's just really, it really happenstance. I wasn't expecting much of anything. I found a lot of everything. So. Anyways.
Which dating app was it?
Bumble.
Nice.
Yeah.
So there's hope for all of us. Let's see. No, I'm just like.
No, but yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm good. Let's see what's up in the show.
Yeah, I don't think we both had a great idea of what people wanted from dating apps. We both have had different experiences. People wanting only one thing, which we all know what that one thing is. And I didn't think that I don't think either of us thought that we would find something serious and something great that was out there. And I think a lot of people, this is completely off topic, but I think a lot of people are looking for self-fulfillment and happiness. And I think that our generation, this is an underlying issue where a lot of people don't love themselves before trying to love someone else. And then they don't actually love that other person, because you can't love someone if you don't love yourself. I don't. And love the idea of love, and they don't actually love another person. I think there's an issue in certain communities and just our generation in general with that.
That's facts. So do you think this lack of self-love for ourselves comes from our parenting system, or like growing up? Like, do you think that comes from not having a good foundation? Like, where do you think that came from? Like,
a lot of the family dynamic and the family units are broken. I think it's obviously a blessing to live in an age where we have so much technology and everything is fast paced. There's opportunities everywhere you look, but I think that comes at a cost. I think that means if you come from a home with two parents, one parent is likely gone all the time working, and when they are home, they don't want to engage because they're just so burnt out from how exhausting the workforce must be that it just family hasn't really been a thing. I think a lot of parents have come from a generation where their parents didn't really interact with them as much because it was so work oriented, and now there's more opportunities to work from home. People don't have to work all the time per se, especially now that women are able to work and so two parents can work. But I think it's still hard because they haven't seen it modeled for them to interact in a family unit. So I think a large part of it just has to do with how people are raised. I think that's kind of why people might be seeking fulfillment and love in another person.
Actually, you brought up a really good point. I didn't really want to make it too much about the differences in race and dating, but since we're all black, we can go ahead and talk about it.
I was talking to my dad, and he was telling me that not his parents specifically, but in Louisiana back in the 70s when he was growing up, like most dads, they either, like you said, they were gone all the time. Obviously, we had the crack epidemic hit us really hard in the 90s, and we've constantly dealt with black men being arrested all the time and dealing with police brutality. I mean, you guys have already heard about what's his last name? George Floyd. You already heard about that.
Happened today, and
You said what?
I'm not really sure of his name, but the RIP to the person who was running.
I think it was no, it's a different one.
Ahmaud Arbery.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's respectful to say his name. I just couldn't think of it. Thank you.
Actually, it's there's another story. It just happened like a few days ago. George Floyd. Yeah, he was just killed by a police officer. And but I'll talk about that another time. But one thing that my dad noticed is that a lot of the relationships that they saw with their parents and his friends' parents and stuff like that was the absence of black men being in the home. So that was a big issue with seeing a very happy and very healthy relationship with their parents. So in regards to black relationships in our generation, I think we've definitely gotten a lot better. Black fathers were way more present than the media tried to paint us as we weren't, especially millennials. And what are you guys' generation, Caitlin? What's after millennials?
Oh, heaven! You want to help me out here?
Oh, that's
Gen X or something like that.
Z.
Gen Z. One of those.
One of them. Yeah, one of them.
We don't know what we are.
We're not the 80s.
You know what I mean? But with that being said, like we're definitely doing a lot better with that. But I don't know. He just brought up a really good point when he said that a lot of it was just from society constantly keeping our family separated. So that's why a lot of the relationships that we have as a people aren't where they should be. But I don't know. What do you guys feel about that? I don't know. It was just an interesting point that he brought up to me. But I don't know if you guys.
What do we feel about
the with relationships regarding just black people? Do you think a lot of the issues that we've had with people staying faithful to each other and building
Oh boy, that feels like a whole different video.
Yeah, I just
just a good point that when you brought up parents not being.
That could be a long ass topic, right there. We could be here all day. But I think that's something that Marcus and I have really had to talk about, because I think I want to say that both of our more serious relationships beforehand were racial relationships, and we didn't think that we'd be in another long-term relationship with someone in our same race, not because we're opposed, but just because there seems to be so many limitations out there. Personally, I felt like before I even met Marcus, I always felt like if I were to date inside my race, I would be stigmatized. I love country music. I was actually raised in a small town, rural town, farming community. I needed someone who would be able to handle that and appreciate it and not think it's weird when I see some Toby Keith or Tim McGraw. And I just wanted someone who would be able to appreciate a wide variety of experiences, wide variety of culture. That's important to me. I think that my biggest concern is that there would just be so many multifaceted aspects that I just was worried wouldn't be appreciated. But and I think that can be a huge thing in the Black community, just put labels on what it means to be Black. Therefore, when you're with a Black person, assume that they need to act a certain way, or it was a big thing. I didn't want to be with a man who told me how I should wear my hair, if I should wear it curly or straight, sort of braid. I wanted someone to just be cool with however I wear it. And in a long-winded way, I'm trying to more or less say that I think when it comes to dating within the race of Black people, I think one of the biggest pitfalls is just the limitations and the narrow-minded thinking that can follow.
So, I wish we had other people we could have to talk in this conversation. But I was gonna, how difficult was being in an interracial relationship? I know I had difficulties with parents when I was in relationships in high school and stuff. But what was the biggest difficulty you think?
You had a really difficult experience. You want to talk about it?
Sure. I just think that there weren't a lot of things that we related on from our past, for one. And I've also experienced racism in a past relationship. So that was kind of the end point of having interracial. It wasn't the end point of having interracial relationships. It was me wanting to explore my own race and get out there a little bit more. That was all that I had.
Yeah, it seems like you've had experience that couldn't be had in a romantic relationship. I think for me, because I grew up in a predominantly white, small, rural town, when I met another Black person who was also from a small rural town, I just wanted to pick their brains and talk to them and let them know we're out here. And it was really important to me. I found an individual with the same backstory. Unfortunately, the person I was dating at the time found that to be annoying, I guess because it was another man. It was a male. I don't know if there was jealousy there, but he told me that it made him uncomfortable.
Wow.
And did not understand that's how I felt every day of my life. He did not want to sit down and hear that conversation. He left. And I just continued that conversation with that maybe an hour because I needed to talk about it. But I think one of the hardest things about, and I love interracial relationships, I think they can be beautiful, but when you're dating someone who's not a minority, I think that's the type of struggle they'll never understand. But if they're willing to, then that's beautiful. I think the hard part about our previous relationship is that they weren't really willing to even try to understand what we wanted.
So we've pretty much talked about all the different issues we've seen in relationships nowadays, but what solutions, like what do we need to do to help improve? I mean, not just individual relationships, but even relationships on a global scale. Like, what do you guys see that we should do, or anyone should do?
Bad habit.
Me, I don't know, because I feel like everybody's different. So what like one group of people might need to do might not be the same for other people.
Mhm.
You know, I feel like it definitely a ton of self-reflection would probably be important, and not even necessarily like for the relationship itself, but like just because I feel like a relationship with yourself is very important too. So like you might need to do that self-reflection to heal some things within yourself before you can even start to like heal or start or create any relationship with other people in any way. Like, you know, I don't know. I think that would be number one. So
Major facts. That was well said.
Loving yourself is most important. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think we should do?
I think we need to learn how to connect with each other. I think we need to relearn that. We're not taught that in school. I think it's important to, on a smaller scale, just in the relationships that you're with, because you can teach other people, you can show them just by showing up as your best self with your partner, and then that can kind of have a ripple effect, I think. But on the smaller scale, I think it's important to everything that Heaven said, like understand who you are first and have that self-reflection. But when you're partnered, I think it's important for you to understand how they work. Take time to get to know them. And I think one of the best ways you can do that is just by asking questions and making time to listen. One of the ways we really like to do that is through this card game. It's called The And. So you'll also see that right underneath here, it says game division. So there's one for couples, there's one for friends, family relationships. I think what I'm saying kind of encompasses all relationships in general. To make any relationship work, you gotta know who they are, you gotta know how to talk to them. So yeah, here's a really great example of a card that we both really like.
Is how do you think? Oh,
How do you? Okay.
fair enough. How do you think I want to be loved?
Yeah.
It just explores a lot of different topics and it brings up a lot of different conversations. Like the next one is, when you dream of your future, what are the first three things you see?
And if they don't see you, then you better
Get out of there. And we've been trying to do we just recently got these, and there's a YouTube channel that this is based off of, and they just create deeper connections with a number of different relationships, family, friends, exes, which is very interesting. A lot of different people. You just really get to know the person.
I think it's all about connection at the end of the day. I think that's how we feel the most loved, when we feel the most connected. And I think that's something that people would see that'll make a world of difference to them, and they'll want to do the same thing as well. So I think it's one of the biggest things that we can do to change what we're seeing. Just give people the space to talk about things that really matter, just to be present and listen.
Gotcha. Actually, LaMarcus, you just I wanted to end it on there, but you actually just brought up a really good point. We'll make it really quick. Like, it'll be like literally 2 minutes. But how much is what your ex did to you affecting your new relationship now? Like it's a different person. Like, why are you angry at me for? I didn't cheat on you. I didn't, steal money out of your wallet. I don't know. Just whatever. Like, whatever. But I don't know. What do you guys think about that real quick before we get out of here?
You say what you think.
I was just gonna say that's a wonderful question. First off, a lot of past experiences emulate who we are now. You don't really have to think about the past much, but it definitely affects who you are nowadays. Um, I don't think that my past relationship affects my current relationship too much. There are certain things that I think about, and I don't want the same thing to happen over and over again. Like, I don't want a repeat of certain things that happened in my past relationship to happen now. And you kind of do think about those things at some point, like either before you get into another relationship or you just starting it, and that's just something that maybe you have to talk to your partner about. Just bring it up, tell them that this is what I dealt with in the past, and I really deal with this again.
Yeah, I'm fully on board with what you said. Because I think when you start out a relationship, any kind of relationship, just being transparent, or at least as transparent as you know at the time, I think that can cut down wasted time, confusion, disappointments. I think that's really huge.
Those are some really good points, guys. But I really appreciate you guys for coming on. If you guys enjoyed the episode, leave a like and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. We'll definitely get back to you guys. And that's the season finale for ScreenFax. Look forward for a trailer for season 2 in the next few weeks. And yeah, and remember, guys, no matter what you're doing or where you go, the camera's always rolling. See you next time.